Hey there, everyone. I will get started here momentarily. Just want to let a few more people move on in. Tonight we're going to talk about our latest winter storm, what led to the heavy, wet, soaked snowfall, and also what gave us some rain and also a little bit of sleet out there at times. Once we're done with that, we'll go through the forecast, and I'll show you when some of our wind chills could be down around -10 as we head into the weekend. For right now, we are going to jump into those snowfall totals that we saw with our latest storm that happened Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Saginaw, a few spots around Saginaw, saw about 7 inches of snow. Gladwin, 5 inches. Riley City, 4.5 inches of snow. Mount Pleasant, about 4 inches. And Flint had about 3 inches of snowfall. The reason we had the heavy, wet, soaked snowfall is because of the snow ratios. So when we melt all the snow down and we get about 1 inch of water, how much snow, based on the temperatures, would that give us? When it's warm enough, the air can actually hold more moisture, which is going to compact the snow and cause that good, heavy, wet packing snow. So we had those temperatures around freezing, even some spots above freezing, which, if we melted all the snow down, it would have likely given us 6, maybe 7/10 of an inch of water, as we had that very wet snowfall. Now, when we get into tomorrow night, we're going to have a dry snow. A lot less moisture out there, but it is going to be that fine, fluffy snow, which is able to stack up a little bit more. There's more air that's able to sit in between the snow crystals when it is as cold as the snowfall will be coming through during Friday night into Saturday morning. And then we jump into our precipitation type. So we had a system that had some warmer air along with it, especially up in the atmosphere. Not only at the surface, but a layer of warmer temperatures above the surface, up towards the clouds. So when we're talking about the at least snowfall, and that's when we get the freezing rain and the sleet, which we really didn't have, we are typically, and I'll actually move back to this. So when we're talking about rain, that warm air stretches up to the clouds. There's snow in the clouds, but when it falls through, it is actually melting before it makes it to the surface, and our temperatures were just above freezing. As we were shifting from snow to rain, that warmer air pushed on in with that system. Those that were north of that warmer chunk of air that came in with that wave stayed as all snow. And there may still have been a light layer of some of that warmer air that caused some sleet to go along with the snow, but overall it stayed as primarily snow for the majority of us. But those that saw the lower snowfall totals had some rain, and that's because of a sliver of warm air that worked its way on in with the system thanks to more of a south to southwesterly wind. Our current storm alerts, no alerts out there as of right now. We are not expecting any winter alerts here over the next several days. We are talking about a little bit of flurry action still ongoing, but the majority of that snow has come to an end as our winds have lightened up drastically. There are still a few light snow flurries here at our studio in Flint, but also across I-69. If you are hoping for some warmer temperatures, I do have some good news for you, and you'll see this as we get towards the end of this air mass tracker, what I'm watching and what I'm going to be talking about. We have a piece of the polar vortex in the area right now. It's giving us those below average temperatures. We'll get a second wave of even colder air that swings in for the weekend. So Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, going to be stuck in those Arctic temperatures. But check out the milder air. The greens are back on our air mass tracker, and that's the warmer temperatures, not only at the surface, but also above the surface. So we're starting to get into the blues, into the greens by Tuesday. That gets us up to around freezing. And then we're well above freezing Wednesday into Thursday. Then we'll kind of be in that middle ground of the Arctic air to the north and the milder air to the south. So that's likely going to keep us on the active trend with these storm systems as they stay in between the cold and the warmer temperatures, but it also will allow for us to stay out of the drastically colder temperatures like we have seen for the majority of this month so far. Winds right now are definitely lightening on up. Most of the winds at about 3 to 9 miles per hour. They will go fairly light tonight as we get under just mostly cloudy skies. The light winds, some clearing in the sky cover, and the new fresh snowpack, of course, is going to bring those temperatures down in the single digits in a few spots, but most of us will be in the low to mid-teens. There is a wave of heavier snow that is sliding just off to our south, and that's where it will stay for the rest of tonight into tomorrow. We just have high pressure that's going to keep us nice and dry and quiet as we look across our extended forecast, at least here through tomorrow night. You can see that wave of snowfall off to our south. There is that next Arctic front that's going to pick up some moisture from Lake Michigan. It will give us a few flurries by the evening hours. Then overnight Friday into our Saturday, you can see that snow is really starting to get going. It'll be a few hours of light snowfall, so not expecting much in the way of an accumulation, a dusting to a couple tenths of an inch in most cases. And then another heavier snowfall slides off to our south. But there are some models that are pushing some light snow as far north as Metro Detroit. So if you're going anywhere on Saturday, especially down into Metro Detroit, you may run into some light snow down there. Then we're just in and out of a couple snow flurries on Sunday, but it's Saturday night into Sunday morning. That is going to be very cold, and we have some of those wind chills that will be below zero. With the snowfall Friday night into Saturday, you can see most of us right there at about a T, which is a trace or a dusting of snowfall. So a trace to about an inch. Most of us will see a couple tenths of an inch, a nice coating, dusting of light snowfall. There could be a few spots that pick up some extra moisture off of Lake Huron in the thumb that may push upwards of an inch, but overall we'll keep those snowfall totals to a minimum. High temperatures tomorrow will be well into the 20s. Even a couple spots may make it to 30 degrees, but a lot of us will be right there in the upper 20s. Then behind that wave, those wind chills tomorrow will stay in the 20s. Winds are going to increase Friday night into our Saturday morning. Check out 7 a.m. on Saturday. Futurecast wind chills between 0 and -10, and that's how they stay the entire day on Saturday. Even Saturday night could be even colder, some spots right around -10 with those wind chills as we get Saturday night into our Sunday morning. And that's because of our air temperature at 2 whole degrees. Not going to feel warm by any means as we look into our Sunday morning. Both days will be partly sunny across the weekend. We do have another chance of some light snow accumulation on Monday. And then I'll bring your attention to Wednesday and to Thursday. We're up to 37 on Wednesday, then 44 on Thursday. That's going to be about 10 degrees above average as opposed to 10 degrees below average. So we do have some milder days ahead. We were mentioning the middle of December. This colder air was looking like it was going to try and break, and we're starting to see that in our 7-day forecasts. Now, the one thing about the milder temperatures is it's likely going to melt this snowfall away. So if you were hoping for snow out there for the holidays, and especially Christmas morning, models are trending a bit warmer and a bit rainier as opposed to colder and snowier. So we may lose out on our chance overall of having snow out there on Christmas morning. I'm not going to say it's a definitive chance that we are going to not have any snow on the ground by then, but the milder trend in these models, it doesn't look like it's going to stay only for a few days. But at least for right now, we only have a few days of temperatures above freezing on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, with those milder temperatures, that means we're likely going to have more fog being generated because milder temperatures sweep over the colder ground and the snowfall. It melts the snow, adds the moisture into the air, and that usually contributes to fog developing. So I'll leave you with this 7-day forecast reminder that Sunday morning, wind chills are going to be down to around -10. They'll hover around 0 most of the day on Saturday. Wind chills down to around -10 Sunday morning, and it'll stay breezy into our Monday as well. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for me here on this another edition of Beyond the Forecast. We are, of course, always live whenever we have a big snowfall, but of course, every Thursday here on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening and a great weekend ahead.